Barack Obama. Introduction. This is the story of Barack Obama, the first black president. As a child, he sometimes doubted himself and felt as though he did not fit in. Learning about other black people who struggled in their communities inspired Barack to help people and make the world a better place. Barack developed a passion to change the practices that had made him feel like an outsider. Barack's devoting to wanting to improve the world led him on the path to become the 44th President of the United States of America. Growing up, Barack Obama Jr. called Barry during his childhood. He was born in 1961 in Hawaii. His mother, Ann Dunham, was from the state of Kansas. His father, Barack Obama Sr., was from the country of Kenya in Eastern Africa. His parents met and married while they were students at the University of Hawaii. The marriage did not stay last. By the time Barry turned 4, his parents had divorced and his father had moved back to Kenya. Barry's mother married a man from Indonesia, an island nation in Southeast Asia. When Barry was 6, the family left Hawaii and moved to Indonesia, where his half sister was born. Barry attended the school in Indonesia was for 4 years. He learned the language and custom of his new country. He also saw what life was like for people living in low income areas. Many Indonesian families struggle each day just to have enough food to eat. Barry sometimes felt strange being so far from Hawaii. He felt he was not part of the community where he now lived. He wondered who he was and where he belonged in the world. Having parents of different races and from different continents caused him to wonder a question even more. While the family lived in Indonesia, Barry's mother began teaching him about race and ethnicity. She taught him about the enslavement of Africans in the United States. He also learned about the civil rights movement during the 1960s and anti segregation laws in the United States. Anne educated her son about important black people in politics, history, music, culture, and sports who helped to improve the world. She wanted Barry to be proud of his racial heritage. heritage. Although his mother taught him about black leaders, she also explained that some people were ashamed of the color of their skin and told him about people who thought others were wrong or ignorant just because of their skin color or religion. Barry began to see that race and ethnicity were complicated issues. How could people feel pride when they were being unfairly judged on the very thing they were proud of? After 4 years in Indonesia, Barry's mother decided to send Barry back to the United States and continued his schooling. In 1971, when Barry was 10, he moved back to Hawaii and uh, to live with his grandparents. In Hawaii, Barry again felt like an outsider. He was one of only 2 black students in his class. Some of his classmates made fun of his unusual name. He gained strength from reading about other people who felt like outsiders but who had successfully found their way in the world. He was inspired by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and other leaders who believed that peaceful social change, finding his way. After he graduated from high school in Hawaii, Barry went to college in Los Angeles. During that time, he and other students spoke out against South Africa's white government, which supported terrible treatment of black people. Barry began to embrace his African heritage and started using his Kenyan name. Barak, which means blessed. He started to understand that he didn't have to choose between his white and black backgrounds. He was both. Barak wanted to learn how laws and government worked. He wanted to have changed some of the injustices he saw. In 1981, he transferred to Columbia University in New York City. He graduated in 1983 with a degree in political science. By the time Obama finished college, he knew he wanted to help people in communities. He wanted to involve people in creating better lives for themselves. He also wanted to see local laws changed and some people would receive fair treatment. He found a job and moved to Chicago in 1985. He became the director for an organization that helped people in low income neighborhoods find jobs and improve their lives. Obama helped set up a job training program for black people who had lost their jobs when factories closed. He also helped call attention to an attention materials called as- as- asbestos that were found in the walls of low-income housing. The organization started a tutoring program to help young people who wanted to go to college. Obama also managed a program to sign up new voters. He encouraged people to get involved in politics so that fairer laws could be passed. Obama's work in Chicago fed his passion for helping people living in low-income but through through his work, he saw that to make lasting changes, he would need to learn how to change laws. He believed that changing unfair law community would improve the lives of their people. Obama entered Harvard Law School near Boston in 1988. During his time there, he became the first black person to be in charge of a respected magazine called the Harvard Law Review. He earned a law degree in 1991 and graduated with honors. After finishing law school, Obama moved back to Chicago and worked for a law company for the summer. Another lawyer named Michael Robinson advised him, and they became friends. Obama waited Robinson along when he went to visit some of the people and communities he had helped in the 1980s. Robinson was deeply moved by Obama's vision of a better world. She saw how much people he had worked with respected him. They married in 1992. Becoming a politician, Obama had become a lawyer to help people, but he soon saw that helping people as a lawyer was a very slow process. He decided that entering politics and changing laws would be even faster way to help. In 1996, he ran for and won a seat in the Illinois State Senate. As a state senator, he helped change laws so working families with low incomes could pay lower taxes. He also helped change laws so children would have better education and health care. Barack Obama ran for the United States Senate in 2004. He was asked to speak at an important meeting in Democratic Party. He gave a hopeful speech about all Americans working together to help the United States become an even greater country. The speech was a big success, and Obama words inspired many people. He easily won a seat in the U.S. Senate later that year. Because of the speech, many people encouraged Obama to run for president, the biggest job in the United States in 2008. Tonight is a particular honor for me because, let's face it, my presence is on this stage is pretty unlikely. My father My father was a foreign student, born and raised in a small village in Kenya. He grew up herding goats, went to school in a roof shack. My mother was born in a town on the other side of the world, in Kansas. My parents shared an abid- abiding faith in the possibilities of this nation. They would have me give me African name, Barack or Blessed. They believe that in a tolerant America, your name was no barrier to success. They imagined me imagined me going to the best schools in the land even though they weren't rich, because a generous America don't have to be rich to achieve your potential. I stand here today grateful for the diversity of my heritage, aware that my parents' dreams live on my two precious daughters. I stand here knowing that my story is part of the larger American story, and that is in no other country on earth is my story even possible. Barack Obama, Democratic National Convention, July 27th, 2004. Obama had to be convinced that being president was the best thing for him and his family. He thought that he did not have enough experience as a U.S. Senator. Obama also knew that because he was black, running for president could be dangerous. He knew that just running for president would change his and his family's lives forever. He could no longer take a walk or get his hair cut without drawing a crowd. While he thought about whether or not to run for president, Obama's reputation grew. The two books he had written inspired many people to write to him and encourage him. He continued to give speeches and talk to people. Many more people became inspired by his words. His clear thinking, his respect for all people, and his belief in peaceful solutions to big problems. Conclusion. In November of 2008, Barack Obama was elected the 44th President of the United States and became the first black president in the history of the country. He, his wife Michael, and their two young daughters moved into the White House in Washington, D.C., and he began his jobs as president on January 20th, 2009. In October of that year, President Obama was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in recognition of his efforts to make the world a better and more peaceful place. In 2012, Obama was elected for the second term as president. In the nation's leading role, Obama enacted many changes to help Americans and people worldwide. Among his important acts were helping millions of Americans get adorable health care and making strides toward peace with other countries. Barack Obama's legacy as the first black president will inspire future leaders for generations to come.